Okay, so once you're in here, those of you who have already kind of started adding that in, go ahead and fill in all of the personal information. My e-sign name and e-sign initials are not the same, so just disregard that because I have to sign sometimes differently. So just make sure that your name matches and your initials match there. You want to make sure that you have your company name, your job title, realtor, phone number, and I don't have the address in here. You want to do this? Is there a spot for it here?
Yeah, on mine there is. I got it in there.
Okay. You must be in the.
No, I've got a line. I'm not on the
servers.
Oh, mine.
Oh, okay, good. You're not going to run into a document that's going to require that.
Oh, okay.
So it's fine that you put that in there.
What's the tagline?
That's something you say about yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You don't really need it as far as documents go. I think it's just something extra to kind of put in there for other Dotloop users. Okay, I'm typing in the company address here for those of you who don't have that. I need to fill that in.
What's the numbers? I can't see.
2630. Yes, 2630.
You put that in on where it says home address?
Yes. Okay. I'll lay that up there. I'll let y'all kind of finish filling that in. Let me get you.
Click through.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Just get caught here. Just trying to.
Yeah, so you'll start here and add that in and go to settings, and then you'll fill that in as well.
Okay, so work here for right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oops.
Why are there 4 blanks under the email notification? And there's a box checked, so blank. Mine are.
Agent, broker, partner activity report. I mean, this is just for reports. You don't really necessarily need that. I mean, if there's a certain report, like if you're doing things differently in your business model, you can check for different reports if you like. But otherwise, it's not going to make a big difference.
Blank is fine then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the main purpose of going through this is just for when your autofill settings for your documents. So there's going to be a lot of extra blanks and a lot of extra items here that you may not necessarily need because Dotloop is nationwide. So there's other states that have realtors utilizing this, and they may need other things that Tennessee doesn't necessarily need to have. So once all of this is filled in, you'll click Save. It says our contact information was successfully saved. And now we can go back to our loops. You'll see your tabs here at the top. The one that kind of looks like a smiley face with no eyes is your loops. You'll click there and it's going to take you back to your loops. And at some point you can go in there and you can add a picture or whatnot for your profile. Is everybody back to the loops page? Good? Okay, so now we're going to create a loop. So yours may look a little different. Did you switch it to the list?
That's not available. It's not.
Okay.
I imagine once I put a loop in, then maybe it'll give me an option. It's not there.
Two. It should give you the option go ahead, this way you'll have to make your loop.
Sure.
You can follow us from there.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. So everyone in this room has created a loop before. Nope, you haven't? Okay, all right. So you'll go to your button here where you can click Create a Loop. And we're going to go ahead and type in an address. so I have an address here to show you. We're going to do the office address here. Okay, so when you're typing this in, you're going to see a drag down of options for what Google Maps is finding that matches this list. Now, if you pay attention, you'll see some here that says source Dotloop, listed by, that's going to have a name. This is for if another agent that you're working with, say you're on the buying side, and they have Dotloop, and they created a listing loop for that same property that you're putting an offer in on, you can link up to their loop. Now, you won't be able to see any of their listing documents. The only thing that you'll be able to see is what they share to you. So if you're in the process of doing that, and you're working with another agent that does have Dotloop, you can link up there, and it makes things a little bit easier for you as far as going back and forth. Otherwise, if you don't see that, and you find the correct address, oh, it's not giving me a Google Maps for Murfreesboro. Let me type in more letters here. Okay. So, otherwise, you can use the source that says Google Maps. So we're just going to use Google Maps. It's going to put in all the correct information and capitalize everything and make it look nice. And then you're going to want to create your loop. Is everybody on the same screen? Okay. So to start off your loop, you want to go ahead and we'll start from the top and work our way down. So you've got your name here, and then you want to go ahead and add your transaction type. So we will, to start off, we'll just do the buying side. So you'll click on transaction type, a list is going to come down, and you want to click purchase if you're on the buying side. If you have the listing, you can click on listing for sale. But we're working as a buying agent right now. So we're going to make it a purchase, and then another box is going to come up or drag down that says select loop status. If you're just now working with your buyer and you're wanting to just put in your initial buyer documents, you can go ahead and just mark it pre-offer. So let's say we're in a pre-offer status right now. We haven't decided on an address. Then you're going to go into your view details. And the reason why you kind of go across there and then go into your view details is because if you have everything added in your view details first, then when you start pulling up your documents, it's going to auto-populate a lot of that information for you, and it's going to speed up. So we cut your time in half as far as, creating your documents and putting the information in.
Valerie, if we click on that this is a seller transaction, is that what it says? Is that the wording there?
And for the buying side, it's going to say purchase, and for listing, it's going to say listing for sale.
Okay, all right. If we click on listing for sale, do we get a window that gives all of those blocks like our present listing info form?
No, I'm going to show you how to put those in there though. Well, since I've already got the property address in here, let's just go ahead and start this as if it was a listing. So you can change that right here, and so you don't have to go anywhere different. You can just change this, listing for sale, select loop status. When you're putting a listing in, always make it an active listing. Even if it's not active in the MLS, just go ahead and make it as an active listing, and I'm going to show you why here in just a minute. Alright, so once you've got your first part done, then you're going to want to add people. So you're going to add a person, and let's just say, who can I use? Somebody's email address that I know. Let's just say Rusty Matz is our seller. Because Rusty is in Dotloop as a Dotloop user, it's automatically going to pop up and recognize his name and his email. Otherwise, if you're putting someone new in who's not a Dotloop user, this isn't going to pop up, and you'll need to physically type in their email address. So because he's in here, we'll just go ahead and click on that, and it's going to add his email here for us. And then you're gonna wanna change the role, because we want Dotloop to know that he's our seller, so that when we start autofilling, it's gonna automatically put his name and his email address in there.
Valerie,
Yes.
I typed my name in, and so am I supposed to click on add email since it's already in?
Don't put your own as
Okay,
a seller, because that's gonna kind of throw things off, because you're in the job. So you can just put me in there, just type in my name as your seller.
okay.
And then we can click on add person or add email, or after we type in the name, what you do?
After I typed in the name and I typed in the email, I changed the role. And
Oh, so we need to type in Rusty's email?
yes, everybody can type in Rusty's email other than Rusty.
What is it?
You can't put your own name. If you go to name and you start typing in his name, there should be a little box that pops up that recognizes.
Mine didn't pop up.
Oh, it didn't? Okay, so you can go ahead and type in his email. It's R as in Richard, Max, M as in Mary, ATZ @realtracks.com. Did everybody get that, or did you get his email?
Good.
Colleen, did you get
I
yours?
typed it in and now do we hit add person?
Okay. No, not yet, because you want to change the role. You want to make sure that you have Mr. Max listed as your seller.
Okay.
And once you do that, this box is going to pop up bigger.
It's like that, already right.
Oh, scroll
Oh,
down.
that's okay.
Can you find it?
Yes, yeah, you're good. You need to put my email in there, it won't let you do it. Oh, yours is a touch screen.
Oh, I'm,
You're fancy.
that's, wait, okay. So what do I do?
I was just typing my email.
Here's Joy, L-A, good. Should we click on add to my team?
No, never, ever click add to my team. Unless you are working one-on-one, you're co-listing, or you've got another agent that's working with you, that's helping you as like another buying agent, then you can add them to your team. Because otherwise, they're going to have total control inside your loop, and you don't want that. And you definitely don't want another agent from another agency to have control over that. Did you get my email address in there? Hold on, yeah, that's fine. Okay. So did everybody get the role changed, or they at the screen? Okay, so once you get to the screen, you can, if you want, to fill all the rest of this out. You're not going to ever use the rest of this information in any of your documents. So it's not really necessary to put that in here. So once you've got the role changed, then you're going to add person. And then Mr. Seller is going to pop up here. If you already know your title company, you can add your title company in there. You can, that whole 9 yards. If you're working the listing side, you shouldn't have a lender that you need to add in right away until you get an offer. So you can add as many people as you need in here. Then once you've added all of your people, you're going to scroll down and you're going to see another box that says property address. Well, when you created your loop and you use the Google Maps source for the address, this should already be filled in for you. Does everybody have that filled in?
Yeah.
Okay. And if you look down here at the bottom, it'll say parcel tax ID. This is where you can go in and put the tax ID number for the property. So if this is your listing, you should have that tax ID number, and you can pull that up when you go into the property tax records, and you can add that in there because that will auto-populate on some of your forms for you. I don't have the tax ID number, so we're just going to move on. Then you're going to see another section here that's going to be labeled as financials. You can add this in. This is going to be more along the lines of when you get an offer. So I wouldn't worry about putting your purchase price there right now, because as we go further down, you're going to see a section that says listing information. Yes.
When, for example, on the sales commission rate, and you put it in, does that automatically autofill the compensation factors?
It will.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah, so if you want to be proactive, they say typically the buying agent is supposed to be the one that does the compensation agreement, but there's a lot of listing agents out there that go ahead and have it signed and taken care of, and they upload it. So if you do that, if you automatically have your seller sign everything up front, which you should, you can go ahead and just put add commission sell rate, which would be 3% there. You don't want to put 6% here. We'll put 6% further down.
Oh, okay.
Because otherwise your compensation agreement is going to autofill 6%. You don't want that. So
Well, sure.
3%. Mhm. Okay, contract dates, we're starting out on our listing side, so we don't have contract dates yet. So let's just get past that. Same thing with your offer dates and everything, we're gonna go past this. You're gonna not fill these two in until you actually get an offer. Contract info, we don't really utilize this, so that's not really for us. If you do have a referral, you can add in your referral information here. Okay, so now we're down to the box that says listing information. So this is what we're going to want to fill in since we're starting in on the listing side, because it's going to fill in your listing agreement and everything for you. So your expiration date, your listing date, your original price. If you change anything, you can put your original or current. So let's go ahead and just fill this in. I'm going to say our expiration date is for July 29th. Your listing date, we can say we're going to list it today. Let's say it's $250,000. You don't necessarily have to put in this mortgage balances. That's not going to go anywhere on your documents unless you just want that information and you want to put that in there so that you can kind of keep up with stuff that you shouldn't necessarily need that. Same thing with other liens, description of other liens. Homeowners Association, if you know that they have an HOA, you can put in their HOA name.
If you just put the name or the contract information in that little slot on the homeowners association.
Well, you only have a slot here for homeowners association and then for homeowner association dues.
Okay.
So you would just put the name of it and then how much it is.
Okay.
All right, property includes. So they say, okay, I'm okay with leaving our refrigerator. We're gonna leave all the kitchen appliances, the refrigerator's good to stay. The hot tub in the back, on the back porch is gonna stay with the property. You can put those things in here. So just to have something in here, we'll just put hot tub. And then property excludes. They don't want to leave the refrigerator, all right? We're gonna leave the hot tub, but we're taking our refrigerator. Just make things, so you can put that in there. All right, then you scroll down to geographic description. You can put in MLS area. That's not going to go anywhere, but you can put in your legal description there as well, because that's going to auto-populate on your forms. Deed page number, book page number. You can put those things in.
And that would transfer to the contract?
Yes.
Okay.
Then you've got your property information in here. You can put the year it was built. This, from my knowledge, does not auto-populate on anything. It's just more for your information. So we've got everything that we need in there, and now we're going to save it. Once you save, you'll scroll back up to the top and you'll go back to your loop. Now that you're back in your loop and all of your information is put in there, you can start adding your files. Is everybody back to their loop, original loop? Okay. Alright, and so what I do to keep everything super organized, and because there's going to be certain documents that you're going to use throughout the transaction no matter what. It's not going to change. So what I do is I put my initial listing documents in here. And there's 3 little dots here on the side because I want to name this folder initial listing documents. So you're gonna click on your three dots, and you can rename. So we'll name this initial listing folder, and you'll just hit enter.
So
Did everybody find that?
So so you go to the three dots and then we hit rename, okay? And then that comes over here to the left where it says folder.
And you can label it whatever you wanted to. I'm labeling this one initial listing folder because I'm getting myself prepared for my listing presentation. They've not signed anything yet. I'm going to put my listing agreement in here. I'm going to put my transaction fee form in here. I'm going to have everything in here that my seller's going to need to sign in the beginning. So did everyone figure out how you could change the name of your folder? Did you all see that? Okay.
Question.
Yes.
To change if I had other things I wanted to change name-wise, would I go back to the three dots and then pull up rename, and then would I have the prompter by whatever the item I want to change the name on?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I'm going to show you how to do
Okay,
that.
fine.
Okay, so once we've renamed a folder, I want to go ahead and I want to put my documents in here. So we're going to go from add from, and we're going to go to templates. You'll see here, just to kind of let everybody know, I'm trying to clean these up, your listing and your sale packet, because there's documents in here that you don't necessarily need in your initial listing or buying orientation. So I've created a folder here that's commonly used documents, so I'm going to pull those out so that when you start using your sale packet, you can just put everything that's in the sale packet in your loop. Yes?
Just a suggestion on that, on the sales packet or either the buyer packet, either one, could we clean up that form for the transaction fee and make it look like it's not something that's been copy of a fax of a copy of.
I can try to clean that up, but either way it goes, I'm going to have to create a new form, scan it to myself, and then upload it here. So I can try it and see if it looks cleaner, and it's more prominent, the print on it. But I have to scan it, so it may still look like a scan.
I can have you do it if you get to that point.
Okay. Okay, so we're doing the listing, so you want to go to your 2016 residential listing packet. You're going to click there, and a list of documents is going to come up. Is everybody there? They see it? Okay. So you'll see kind of what I'm talking about here. There's some extra documents that you don't necessarily need to put in your loop. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to pick out the ones. If you've got your step sheet here, you'll see the documents that are required. This is just in general. So this is if you've got an offer. This isn't pertaining to just, if you have a listing, the first things that you need in your listing. This is just kind of in general. So you'll see your stars here. So I know in listing that I'm going to need my listing agreement, I'm going to need my transaction fee form, and I'm going to need my property condition disclosure. But I go ahead and I get my disclaimer signed, and my confirmation of agency, so we'll go ahead and pull these out. So here's the property condition disclosure. If they've not lived in the property for 3 years or more, go ahead and do your exemption. That's not in here. I'm going to clean all that up for you, though, so you'll find that in your commonly used. If you're using Memorial Title for your title company, you're going to want to go ahead and put this in there. You can go ahead and put your compensation agreement in there. Technically, the buying agent creates the compensation agreement, but you can put that in there if you'd like. We're going to go ahead and just do confirmation of agency, disclaimer, exclusive right to sell, and we're going to go ahead and put the listing input sheet in here. Once you've clicked everything that you need, you're going to hit copy. And it's going to import all these documents for you. Is everybody on the same page? Okay. All right, so you'll hit OK once everything is imported. So here's going to be all of your initial listing documents that you're going to need. And I noticed there's one thing that's not in there that I'll fix. But in your listing or presentation or your buyer presentation, if you do charge your transaction fee to your client, you want to go ahead and do that in the beginning of your presentation because that needs to be something that is discussed and brought up front. So that's going to be something that I'm going to put in my initial listing documents. But because it wasn't in there, we'll go and we'll find it. So we're going to go back to the ad document. We're going to go back to our templates. I know that that is in the, oh wait, here it is. Tennessee transaction fee form. We'll copy it. And we'll add it. It should be under sale packet. No, it wasn't in the listing packet, so I've got to clean up those folders some. Okay. Has everybody they have all their documents in here? So I want to go ahead and open up all my documents because I want all of them to go ahead and be autofilled. So we're going to click the top box here next to an initial listing folder, and it's going to check mark all of our documents. If you see at the top, it's going to say archive, make a copy, open, print, download. We want to open them.
Valerie?
Yes.
I just clicked on the box and I just got the box.
Let's see.
What did you just do?
I clicked that, so.
Yeah.
Why is yours not? It should check mark all of those. So just go ahead and download and
Got
check
it.
mark all those. I'm not sure.
It might be designed. Oh, wait a minute.
Did it work?
Yeah, I went to the next one.
There you go.
I tried to, I was half paying attention. So now I added these to the loop instead of
Because you've got this info sheet in there, so it's required. So you want it in here. Okay. Let me make a note of it because I want to go ahead and move forward on this side. I'll have to go back. I'll have to go back quick and stuff.
Yeah, I went back to that other form, but so I didn't send you the other, but you did it there.
Oh, okay.
There's the form.
So you've got the other form. Then you're going to click the box here. So that it's going to check mark all of them for you. Oh, it's not doing this. So just check all of them. Just make sure all of them are checked. And there it goes. Okay. So you've opened up all of them. You've checked all of them. You're opening it up, and now it's gonna. This box is gonna come up, and it's gonna prompt you to autofill.
It did not. That box doesn't.
On yours. Anybody else does not come up?
I want to check.
Okay. Yeah, you guys go ahead.
I'm not on autofill, I'm sorry.
Are all of your documents open?
Gotta check.
Okay. So then you're gonna click open.
Oh, so, thank you.
So is everybody here?
Yes.
Okay. So you're gonna go down the line, and if there's something that hey you missed in your view details, you forgot to add that in, but you're here, you can add it in now. So we know that our seller is Mr. Rusty, and we know that this is the correct property address. Financials, add sale commission rate. Maybe we did need to fill it in, so hey, we fill it in now. Put 6% here. Your listing information is going to be here, expiration date, listing date, original price, what's included, what's excluded. Your deed page, if you fill those in, seller's information. So we want this to go ahead and autofill.
When you add it right there, does it go back and put it into your?
View details? It does. And it will save it. Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. So, did everyone see how it's autofilled? Does everybody have their information autofilled so far? Mm-hmm. Okay. A little box is going to come up. And it's going to automatically start assigning roles to signature boxes if it is a TAR form. Now, when you go through here, you're going to see some of these forms, hey, this didn't autofill anything at all. Well, it's because it's a PDF. It's, like our transaction fee form. It's not going to autofill for you because it was a form that we created. It's not a TAR form. So I'll show you how to go in there and fill that in.
Valerie?
Yes.
In this example, on the property page, are we allowed to put in the property age as the
You
age?
can put the property age in, but everything else from there down is gonna need to be filled in by the seller.
So they have to get on the computer and fill that out?
I'll show you how to set that up where only they can
Okay.
fill that in.
Alright.
So we'll scroll through and make sure everything that I needed filled in is filled in. So this top portion is good with, that's all filled in. It's just taking a second to load, sorry. Alright, so it didn't check anything here. That's good because we're not supposed to fill this in. This is for the seller only. It did fill in house up here because that's something that was going to remain. Which, this is fine, or you can take that out. If you don't want anything there, you can take this out completely. And say, look, I don't want anything filled in. I want my seller to fill that in. That's fine. Sorry, it's taking a minute to load. Everybody else is loading
Yes,
slow,
no,
so it's not
I'm
just me.
just,
Okay.
wait a minute, hold on. What am I supposed to do now to load?
We're just scrolling down. I'm just scrolling through and it's just taking a second to load the pages.
Oh, okay.
Alright, and because this is a TAR form and it knows that this is the place for the seller to sign, it went ahead and autofilled, not autofilled, but assigned it to Rusty. So you don't have to go back and do that, so you're good there. I always just scroll through page by page just to make sure that nothing, went in the wrong spot. Okay, so another form that's not going to autofill because it is an exit created form is going to be your affiliated business arrangement disclosure. The only thing you're going to see down here is, nope, not on this one, it's the other one. So we want to go ahead and fill this in. We want this information here. So you're going to see at the top, there's going to be a list of drop downs or options that you can click on. So you're going to go to add, and we need to add text because we need to type in the information. So you're going to add your text. Well, where's my text box? Okay, there we go. Where is it? It was glitching for a second there. You'll see add, and then you can add, signatures, initials, text, date, name.
Okay, what if we have that form on here?
Oh, okay. Well, just kind of follow me through, I'll
Like I
show
can't
you.
do it in the compensation agreement, because that's what I'm looking at.
Well, then just hold off. Just hold off for a second, and, did you put your transaction fee
Yeah,
form
I'm
in there?
gonna scroll back up to the top. Yeah, right here.
Okay, so you can follow me on the transaction fee form then.
And you did add
Yep.
text.
Add text, and then a little box should be attached to your cursor, and you can drop that down to put your information in.
Oh.
And, Okay, so you can also drag this and make this bigger, you can make it as big as you want. I just kind of drag mine all the way out. And then because we're going to submit this to our seller, so we're just going to put Rusty's name here. You can go back to your ad, you can add date. You want to put the date here. A calendar will drag down for you. We'll put today's date. You can add text, put your name here. And then down at the bottom is where we're going to add signatures because we need for our client to sign. Is everybody done at the bottom of this page?
I am now.
Okay.
I have a question real quick. Do you have to click on add text each time you're gonna fill a new line?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So each time you have to do a line, you have to add new text.
Okay.
Okay, so we've added everything in here. Now we want to put signatures. So you're going to go back to add. You're going to add a signature, and a signature box should follow your cursor. You'll drop it. The only person that needs to sign this is your clients. So we'll assign field. Everybody there saw how I did that?
No.
Okay, so we went to add signature, and this box followed my cursor, and I dropped it, and I clicked on it, and a drop down came up. So you can either sign add or assign field. We don't need to sign this. Our client needs to sign it, so we're going to assign field. When you do that, this box is going to come down, and you are going to assign this to Rusty because Rusty needs to sign this.
Rusty can't sign it, because Rusty can't figure this out. No. Can you, I've got the, add text, add signature, then add signature.
Okay, so you need to go back to your signature box.
Right.
Wait, you added a text there.
Right, so that,
Yes, because that's not where you need to type. That's
Okay.
where we need to add a signature box. So, shame.
Shane.
All right, now, because you've done that, click X.
Oh,
See the X button? I'll get rid of it.
okay, oh.
Okay, so I'll show you what I was just showing Rusty. So he wrote down a text box here, and he didn't need the text box there. He needed a signature box. So we had to get rid of it. So if you, let me just do it. All right, so I've dropped my text box there, and shoot, I don't need that there, so let me take that off. So when you do that, see this little extra section right here, where you can edit like your font size and all that? There's a little X at the bottom of it, so just make sure whatever box you're deleting is the one that's highlighted. Right here. It's highlighted. There's an X right there, and that removes field. So if you click on it, it's going to get rid of it for you. Okay, so let's move on. This is a permission form. Because of the new TRID changes, the only way for you to be able to see your preliminary settlement statements is if your client gives permission to the title company to show that to you. So this is a form that you can use. It's not set up for one specific title company. You can use this for any title company. So again, this is a form that we created, so you'll need to do your drag downs. Does everybody still know how to add their text and drag down their signature boxes? Okay, so we'll just move on.
Is this form by itself, or does it get the company with affiliate business disclosure?
It is accompanied with the memorial title
Is
affiliate.
there an option to just add that by itself through the different title companies, so we don't have to?
There is, and I need to clean all of that up. That's why I created the commonly used forms, so that's one that needs to go in there. I'm glad you brought it up. Let me make a note here. Here's your paper.
Hey Valerie, also, and I was out of the room, so I don't know if you said this, but I can't remember the top of the memorial title form. If you're putting in multiple lines, instead of having to put in a text box for each, you just make the text box bigger and you can stack the lines.
But if there's other information
If
there,
it's a
it'll cover it
situation
up.
where it's not gonna cover up.
Yeah, and Pauline, there is a way for you to not have to go back and click it, not go back to click it. I know you have to hit like shift or something, but I don't know how to do that. You may want to try to reach out to Mike Rumbles and ask him. I know he knows how to do that, but I'm not real familiar with it, so I don't want to tell you how to do the wrong thing and then you end up with boxes all over the place or something. Okay, and I'll move that permission form into the commonly used. Okay, so we filled out our permission form, and now we're to the confirmation of agency. Is everybody on the same form? Okay, so it went ahead and auto-filled some of this information for you. So you're just going to have to go in here and type in your license name. So you are.
Why is it not running in our autofill? If we're logged in under our.
It just doesn't. I'm not sure why. So we'll fill that in. When you type this in on the form, if it's somebody that's already in Dotloop, you'll notice how mine did, where it automatically drove down, like recognize the name. On the forms, don't click on it, because I noticed that it added me again, so there was like 2 of me down in my people. I'm not sure if it's something that I'm doing wrong on my end, but just for future reference for you guys, don't do that unless you know how to fix it.
I'm sorry, how did you get Okay, confirmation of agency status, the licensing name in there, cause I don't have an add text.
You don't have to add text. That's a tar form, so you can just click right in the box. You should be able to type that in. Same thing with the squares here. You don't have to add a checkbox or anything. You can just click on it. We practice designated agency here, so you're a designated agent for the seller. Again, because it's a tar form, it already registered for him to sign. Listing licensee, for some reason, it doesn't auto sign for you, so or auto assign. So you're going to go here and assign it to yourself. This one's clicked, for some reason it automatically does no one. So when you click on the box, you can just go up here and you can assign it to yourself, the listing agent. Oh, well, I didn't change my role to the listing agent, so lesson learned. When you're in your people section on view details, change your role too. So you can just, if you forgot to do that, you can add it. You can go in here and add that, or you can leave it blank. My suggestion to everyone is when you're creating these, there's going to be several documents for you to sign, like your listing agreement, confirmation of agency, compensation agreement, that sort of thing. I always say, don't sign anything until you send it to your client and your client has signed, and then go back and sign it, because otherwise you're making extra work for yourself. So if you go in here and you sign it and they see something in the listing agreement and they're like, oh hey, you didn't add this, or I wanted to change that, I'm not okay with that price, I want a new price there, you have to change it, it's going to erase your signature, so you're just going to go back and sign it again. So I would just, anything that requires your signature, I would just leave blank until your client has signed and you've received all the signed documents back and you can sign it. You can do that however you want, but I just feel like it's more work for yourself. So you can click on the box here and type in Exit Realty. You can space over to put the date in if you need to. Alright, I'm going to move down. Disclaimer notice, which should already be auto-filled. Same thing with your signatures. And hit the sign. So we're going to click seller. Oh, we need to assign the field first. Okay, so assign field. We want Rusty to sign here. And then we want to check the seller box. Does everybody see that? Okay. Alright, and so now you're in your listing agreement. So, I didn't fill my address in, so you have to put your address in. So just go through and make sure that everything that you had entered did autofill. If it didn't, at this point, this is where you add it in. Because I took hot tub out there, it didn't.
Valerie, I have a quick question, just for future, can you type in exit really, other places, is it different, do I need to type in exit really, Bob, and social every single time I type in exit really, or just specific ones?
If it requires, like the brokerage or the listing company name, and it didn't autofill for some reason, then you'll need to go in and type in Exit Realty Valerie and Associates. I just did Exit Realty just to be quick so that we can move forward. Okay, so let's say we've gone through this and great, everything that I wanted is added. We didn't miss anything. Always make sure you double check your commissions here. So everything's good to go. One thing that I always want to put in here is when you do you're in the beginning of your listing presentation or buyer orientation, there's a section on your buyer agency agreement and your listing agreement for exhibits and addenda. Because you're going to discuss your transaction fee form at the very beginning, you want to go ahead and just make that part of your listing agreement. And Rusty is automatically assigned to sign here. You can go in and change yourself. And now we're to the listing input sheet. Is everyone on the same listing input sheet? You scroll down. So you're gonna make sure that you fill this in. Obviously, if you're just doing your listing presentation with them and it's not in MLS, you're not gonna have an MLS number yet. So you can hold off until you actually got the listing agreement signed to fill this out, or you can go ahead and start filling out what information you do have. So you'll fill all this in. And you wanna make sure it's filled in as correctly as possible. And the reason why I stress that is because the ladies up front, this is basically your cover page for your folder. So when you submit for review, if this is not filled in, then they're gonna have to dig and they're gonna have to search and find all of this information. And we've got over 100 agents here. So if we had to do that for every single file, that's gonna put us further and further and further behind, getting everybody reviewed and checked and put in memo and on the sales sheet and all of those things. So try to have this as accurate as possible. If you do have to change anything, say you create your listing input sheet and they decide that they don't want to list on the date that you originally had and you need to change that list date, you can go in to this form only. You can change that date, but just make sure that you resubmit. You go back up to you submit for review, make sure you submit for review if there are any changes to your input sheets. Otherwise, we will not get a notification that you changed it. Same thing on the buying side. Say your closing date changed, you have to extend. And you can change that on your pending input sheet and then just resubmit that folder. And I'll show y'all, once we get past this, I'll show you where to submit and how that works. So all of this is, let's say we filled all that in. There is a check sheet for you that's created. It's a little out of date because there's some things on there that the office doesn't necessarily need to look at. So I would just ask everybody to reference to the sheet that I handed out. But if you like this and you're already in the habit and you've been doing transactions and you want to check this off, you're more than welcome to use it. Okay, so we have filled in everything that we need to fill in. And everything's been assigned, so we want to save. Don't save and share yet, because even though you're like, oh, I'm complete, I can send this all to my clients so they can sign and we're done. Well, let's not do that because you need to assign on the property condition disclosure where they can fill and sign. So you'll hit save. And then you're going to go back to your loops. There are, when you first are getting started, we need them to sign some things. You can go ahead and you've already done your transaction fee form. Let's skip over the property condition disclosure. Let's hit everything else first.
Could you repeat yourself again, please?
So you're getting ready to send everything to your clients to sign. But what I do, and everybody has their own method to their madness, but I go ahead and the transaction fee form, your affiliated business confirmation of agency disclaimer, exclusive right to sell. They don't need the listing info sheet. They don't need for them to see that. It's just for the office. I leave the property condition disclosure off, and I send that last because there's a couple of things that you need to do so that they can go in and fill and sign it through Dotloop. And if you try to send it all together, it may mess things up. So I send it separate. So go ahead and check all these. Once you check what you want to share, you can hit share. This box is going to come up. Rusty is already going to be checkmarked because the system knows, hey, he's the seller and there are some signatures that he needs to put on these forms. So just make sure that it is can sign. You don't have can edit in private or anything like that, or can fill and sign. So we don't want to do that yet. Always check this box down here. It says attach PDF to email. Because what happens is when you check that box, a PDF is attached to their email and they can just go straight to that PDF and they can pull out the entire file. They don't have to go click on the link. They don't have to go into Dotloop and do all this. They can just check, they can just click the PDF. You can type in a message, except for don't hit Control P. Alright. Sorry. Let me go back to my share box. Okay. So So you can type in whatever message you need to type in. Please look over these documents. If you have any questions, give me a call, whatever that may be. And then you'll click share. I'm not going to share now because Rusty's going to get an email with a bunch of documents saying he needs to sign. So once you hit share, it sends an email to them. And what it looks like on their end is they're going to get an email from Dotloop that says, Valerie Glenn has shared such and such documents with you. And then there'll be that PDF attachment. They can click on it. Dotloop's going to come up, and it'll say start signing. So they'll click on the box that says start signing, it'll be flashing at them, and then it's going to go down to each section that requires their signature for them, and they can just sign. Of course, they have the option to still scroll through and review before they sign anything. Once they've signed all of the blocks that require their signature, it's going to say confirm signing. They'll click confirm signing. Once they do that, it's going to shoot it right back to you. So you'll get an email that, Rusty Matz has signed such and such documents. So you'll know that he signed, you can go back in your loop, and you're good to go. So, Rusty has signed everything that he needs to. What I do is I just check here to get off of all of that. He signed everything that he needs to. The only thing that we didn't send him was the property condition disclosure. So I'm ready for him to sign that now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open this, and just click on it by opening it, and click on the name. Now, I want him to be able to fill all of this in electronically. So what you do is, and you can only do this page by page and over spaces that has, blocks that need to be filled in. So from here, you've already added the property age. So from here down, you'll click on it, hold it, and scroll down. I want Rusty to be able to fill everything out in this. So once you do that, this box is going to come up. It's going to ask you to sign. So Rusty is the seller, and he needs to be able to do this. So we're going to assign all of these fields to Rusty. So what's going to happen is since we assigned it to Rusty because he's the seller and he needs to fill it out, we're not going to have access. It's going to block us. Nobody else is going to be able to have access to fill this out except for Rusty because he's the only one that needs to do it. So say you've got two sellers, and you want to know who's supposed to fill it out. We'll just talk to them. Hey, I've got to send over this property condition disclosure. Both of you need to sign, but I can only assign it to one of you to fill out. Just figure out who wants to fill it out. Usually the wife will prefer to fill it out, or the husband, whoever wants to do it, assign it to that person. So if we go down to the next page, again, there's more blocks, so we can just highlight over the blocks.
So do you do that what you're doing right now? Do you do that per page?
Yes, you cannot scroll down through all of it. You have to go page by page.
Right.
So we know that these need to be filled in, needs to be signed. We want Rusty to be able to check mark these. So now again, we can't go in and we can't check anything. Only Rusty can. You'll do the same thing all the way down. And say we have the two clients, you can assign the other seller here, and you can send to both of them. You'll hit save and share, because we've saved it, and now we just need to share it. We've done everything we need to in here. So it's going to come up, Rusty's going to be here. If you look, it's going to say can sign. Well, we don't need Rusty to only sign. We need Rusty to fill this out and sign it. So you'll drag down here. There's this, an option that says can fill and sign. So we're going to give Rusty access to fill this form out and sign it. And the reason why we said this form only, because we don't want him to have access to fill and sign your listing agreement. You don't want him to be able to change any of that stuff. That's only for you. So Rusty can fill and sign. If you've got Martha Sue here, and she needs to be able to sign, well, Martha Sue doesn't need to, can fill and sign. Martha Sue only needs to sign. So that's if you've got two sellers, you just want her to be able to sign. And then, again, attach PDF to email and share. Yes?
I just sent a repair proposal to a client because I didn't know you can highlight it and assign it to somebody to fill it out. I just made it to where they can fill and sign. And she obviously, she added something into it.
Mm-hmm.
So without highlighting all that, so that.
Did you only
obviously
have
makes-
one person that needed to do it though?
Did I only have one person? I think I put for, it's a husband and wife, so I put them both, they could fill and sign.
Okay. The reason why I go in and I drag and highlight and I assign it, that is if you've got two people that need to be able to look at this, and you give both of them permission to fill and sign,
Okay,
well, say the husband fills out and signs it, now the wife is going in there and she needs to, oh, I need to add something. You forgot to put that in there.
because he signed, she can't do it.
Well, no, once she does that, it's gonna erase everything.
Okay.
So then you're gonna just end up with half-done things. So only give permission for one to sign, fill that out, highlight that, assign it to that one person,
Okay.
and make that one person the only one that can fill and sign, and then just allow the other spouse to sign only.
Could I just put one of the people just fill and sign without highlighting it then?
You might be able to. I've never tried it that way.
Because I never highlighted because I didn't know how to do it. I just did fill and sign and she took care of it.
Yeah, I mean, you might be able to. I mean, obviously, if you
Yeah,
are able to
yeah.
do it, you can. So if that works, just be careful with it, because what I'm afraid of is if you don't assign specifically to one person,
Okay.
somebody else may be able to get in there, and then you're gonna end up with stuff wiped out or signatures not on there. You'll end up with a half-completed document.
Okay.
I mean, you can do a trial on it and see if it works that way, but this is how I was taught to do it. So we've assigned, everything's been filled out, and we're sharing it to Rusty so that Rusty can fill and sign it.
Valerie, that form right there, where it had Ken fill and sign, in this example here, by Rusty checking that, is he giving approval to sign these forms electronically? Where I'm coming from, personal situation, I was doing a refinancing some of my rental properties 3 weeks ago. The bank out of Brentwood, I think they were using DocuSign. But they had a form to where they would continually ask me if I was giving them approval for me to sign these forms electronically. Am I making sense?
Kind of. So,
I think under Dotloop, I don't believe I have ever seen a situation or ever seen a form to where I'm signing, if I be the client, giving approval that it's okay
it
to
has,
the lender for me to sign these electronically.
that may have been a different circumstance, because when you add somebody into your loop, and you send this to them, it goes to their email. So they have to be the ones that can open this up and sign it. There's not an additional approval, but once you electronically sign and it's time and date stamped, you have given permission or stated that you were the one signing this. So with that being a refi and you were going through a bank, they're a little bit more funny. It's like short sales, and I did short sales and stuff like that. But they're a little bit more funny about the electronic signatures. So some of them won't do it at all. And some of them will, and there may be like an additional permission form that they require on their end. But as far as our regular transactions, this is perfectly legal. This is, if they open this up and they sign it, they are stating that they have signed this document, they have reviewed this document, and it's time and date stamped. And you can go into your activity log and see when they viewed it and that sort of thing. So I don't know if I'm answering your question very well, but I may not have others understood the question.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You answered it well.
Okay. Okay, so you've shared this with Rusty. So everything is filled in. Everything's been sent, everything's been signed, we're good to go. Now we have an offer. And I'm gonna run through this, kind of quickly. I will stop for questions, but I'm gonna try to speed through this process for everybody, because I don't wanna keep you in here all day. Because it's going to be basically the same thing as how we did your initial listings, auto-filling the whole 9 yards. It's not really going to be
Quick
different.
question, can you delete any one of those, or does it always stay in there?
You can archive.
Okay.
So if you need to archive something, there's 3 little dots here, and you can archive this. The only thing that you won't be able to archive is like your listing input sheets, because it's a required document. Only the admin has the access to that. But you can archive it, and say you didn't mean to archive that wasn't the form you wanted to archive, you need to find it. There's a button here that says show archive. It's going to pop back up, and you can click on it again and unarchive. So you can't delete anything in Dotloop. Nothing can be deleted. You can archive stuff, but you can't, once you make a there's an and you just need to archive it, or need to go back in and fix it. And if you don't know how to fix it, you can call me, email me, and I'll show you how to do it. Okay, so let's say we've got an offer on this, and we want to, let me show you how to set up an easy offer. Okay, so we've got our listing agreement signed. We're good to go. We're putting it in MLS now. And we obviously want to upload our documents. We want the other agents that are looking at the house to utilize the documents that our seller has already signed. You can obviously, upload them as a PDF. Like you can download these to your desktop and then upload it as a PDF. But you want them to have a link. Say the other agent uses Dotloop and you want them to have access to it. So there's a link that you can create for them to be able to link up to that one assigned folder. So we want to do it's called set up easy offer. Don't click on that yet. You need to be able to set your easy offer up. So you're going to add folder, and we want this to be named easy offer folder. Now I'll go ahead and let you know, you can put this in here. Agents may see it, they may not. Even if you just do a PDF, a lot of the times they don't look at that, and they don't send you those documents anyway, so don't get really frustrated over it. It just happens. But this is for agents, that will look at it and will use documents over time.
Could you start to do that one more time, please?
Yes. So you just add a folder.
Got it. Okay.
We want to add another folder here, because we want whatever agent is clicking on our URLs only be able to see this. We don't want them in our listing folder. So we label that easy offer folder.
Is that when you go to the 3 dots?
Yes, that's where you rename.
Got it.
Okay.
And then go over to where it said new folder, but change that to...
Change that to your easy offer. Okay, so we know that we don't want our listing agreement in there. We don't need our listing input sheet in there. We don't need our transaction fee form in there. We need the documents that the other party's going to need signed. So we want our property condition disclosure, affiliated business disclosure. The other party doesn't necessarily have to sign that. So confirmation of agency and disclaimer. These are the 3 items that we need them to sign. So we've checked those, and now if you scroll up where you were able to open at one point, there's make a copy. So you're going to click make a copy, and this box is going to come up. You always want to make a copy as a Dotloop document. And we don't want it to go to templates because we're not creating another template. We want it to go to a loop. So you're going to click to loop. And it's going to give you an option to choose what loop you want it to go to, so you can type that in. Well, we want it to go to our Memorial Boulevard. Oh, I've created a couple of these. So let's just use the top one. Okay. So, you will only have one loop named one property. You won't have to guess like I just did. So you click on it, you got your easy offer folder open. That's where you want it to go, and so we're going to copy, and it's going to import the ones that we needed it to import.
I have a question.
Yes.
When I typed in the easy offer, and I just went to the copy documents to a loop page, it is not there because I probably didn't save it in some way.
I've got a trial and error here. Give me just a second, Rusty.
Okay.
Because I should have labeled this as differently, so I can see it. Bear with me here, sorry.
It's fine.
Must be, I might have sent you something, I'm sorry.
Everybody owes me lunch if I get it.
Alright, give me just a moment, I need to change this so I can identify what loop I'm in.
I'll give that. Oh, there you go. Look how the stuff we're gonna get to do guys.
You'll love it though, like once you get the habit of it, like it's gonna make your life so much easier as far as Dotloop goes. Okay, now, let me see if I can find the right file folder. Okay, there we go. Okay, and you were asking me, did you need to?
I thought I had typed in the easy offer
Folder?
for the file that was initial
Oh.
listing folder.
Well, if you didn't hit enter,
Probably what I didn't do.
okay, so exit, okay, and then, oh,
I
it's
did.
there,
You guys.
okay. So, now, go to make a copy, to loop, type in your address. Oh, you got several too. How do you look that one? Hold on a second. Why do you have multiple memory? Okay, so then click on this one.
With this one?
No, click this one down here.
I'm using the one with multiple asterisks.
It's probably that.
Okay.
That's
No,
all.
he did it.
Oh, sure.
So we'll just follow along.
Well, okay.
Because we're not doing anything.
That's fine.
We're not doing anything, just follow along.
That's all. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, so you've done your easy offer folder. All the documents that you need the buying agent to have their client sign is here. Let me uncheck these. Okay, so now we want to set up easy offer. Because we're in our MLS, we're creating it in MLS. You're at the little option where you can upload like a URL or documents, PDF documents. So if you click set up easy offer, it's because I didn't select myself. If you make yourself a listing agent, your name will come here. Then you're going to select which folder you want to utilize. So we obviously want the easy offer folder. And then it's going to create a link for you. You can just copy and paste this link. When you get to that section in the MLS, that's going to be like a totally different day. We'll do an advanced Dotloop class on that. But once you get in there, you can just copy and paste that into where the URL section is.
I wonder where it says to set up easy offer.
It's at the very top. If you scroll up to the top, like you're going to go and look for your little bubble with your initials.
Yeah, it's not there.
Did you make it an active listing
Oh.
on your status? Your status needs to say active listing.
Okay.
If you don't make it active listing, that was what I was saying. If you put a listing in, always make it active listing. Otherwise, you're not going to have the option for that. Even if it's not in the MLS yet, just go ahead and make it active. Okay, so once you've set up your easy offer, and this is the link that you want to use, you've selected the folder that you want it to be, you just hit save.
Easy offer folder.
And then once you've saved it, it's going to say accessible via easy offer, so you're going to know that you saved that and that URL is good. All right, so you put everything in, now you've got an offer, and they've emailed it to you. You know, oh, they don't use Dotloop, so if they do use Dotloop and they utilize your easy offer, then everything would always pop up and download in your easy offer folder. It won't pop up anywhere else, it'll only pop up here. Say they don't use Dotloop and they're emailing everything back to you. So we're going to create a folder, and we're going to label this Smith Fire folder. However you want to do that. I typically, if I've got especially with this day and age, you're getting multiple offers. So what I do is I just label my offer folder, the client or the buyer's last name, buyer folder. So that if I do have multiple offers, I can identify who is who and which offer is which. So they've emailed it to you, and you want to get that PDF document out of your email because you want it in this loop. So when you go to add documents and then email, it's going to automatically copy this link. So let me just open up my Gmail really quick. Okay, let's see if I can find one that has. Okay, so this email has the offer that I needed from such and such agent, and I clicked, when I was in my loop, I clicked add document, and I clicked the option email. So because I did that, what I'm going to do is, this is the email I want, so I'm going to forward this, and then I'm going to right click, paste. It's going to paste that link to that loop in that folder. So once you've pasted, you don't have to put anything in here. Just hit send. And now it says that it has sent this document to my loop. So I'm going to go back to my loop and refresh. The PDF that I had in my email is now going to be in that loop. It's like, say you scanned it to yourself and it's not labeled, but you want it to be labeled, it's crazy looking. Again, go to your 3 dots, rename, and rename it whatever you like. And then from here you can share this, you can open them up, you can add your signatures, and you can share that to your client to be able to sign. Now, a lot of times what happens is if you're sending stuff back and forth out of there, you may have like extra or multiple documents in here. Say you sent over the counter, there was a counter or something that you had to create, you sent it to them, so you've got a seller signed counter in here, and you sent it to the buying agent. The buying agent has now had their buyer sign it, and they sent it back to you, and now it's executed, which means it's got seller and buyer's signatures on there. And you upload that and put that in your loop. Okay, now I've got a seller signed counter, and I've got an executed counter. So what I do is I just go in there and I'll look, say this is mine, it's just because we got multiple in here. Say this is my seller signed one. I'll label it seller signed, like if I'm creating the counter, okay, this is going to be the one that I'm sending, so I'll label it seller signed so that when I upload, I know which is seller and which is going to be executed. I'll just go in there, I'll click on it, and I'll archive my seller signed one so that you'll have your clean, executed document. Some people are a little bit funny about archiving stuff, even though it's totally easy to be able to get and bring it back. If you don't want to do that, and say that you've gone back and forth 500 times with different things and you've got the same document, what you can do is you can, I've got to check my whole slide, sorry, 1 moment. Okay, so what you can do is you can say, okay, I've gone back and forth, this is labeled this, I don't want to archive anything, I just want to create a separate folder for the staff to review, and that's the folder that they know that they need to look at. And say in that folder you've uploaded inspection reports, repair replacement amendments. We don't need that. We only need, your confirmation of agency, the required documents that are on the sheet. So you can create, add folder, label it, and the office staff would prefer that you create an admin folder or an office folder. So we've made an office folder, But we don't wanna get rid of this loop because it's got my inspection report in here, it's got some things that I need, termite litter, that sort of thing, but the staff doesn't need that. So we'll go in and we'll choose the executed forms that the staff needs. Same thing as we did when we did the easy offer folder, we'll highlight the ones that we need, we'll make a copy as a Dotloop document to Loop. Office folder, copy it. And there it is. Same thing if you've got multiple offers. So say you have multiple offers and there was several that were rejected. Say this was one of them. You can rename all caps, rejected offer. And there's a bunch of documents in here. Well, you can close this by clicking on it and all those go away. And you want to get Mr. Smith Fire out of the way because he's rejected. So we'll click on it, hold it, drag it down, and drop it down to the bottom. So he's out of the way. And then when we look at it, we're going to see office folder. You can close your easy offer folder if you're done working out of it, and if you want to move it out of the way, it's just in your way. I mean, you can put that there, whatnot. And then when we see it, we're going to see that, hey, he's already submitted his listing folder, and then now this is the office folder for us to review to see all of the required documents. One thing I didn't show you that I want to show you really quick is how to submit for us to review. If you scroll up to the top, you're going to see a link that says Submit to Review. Click on it, and it's going to ask you which folder do you want us to review. Which folder are you submitting for us to look at? Well, I've already, when I first created my listing folder and my client, Mr. Seller, signed all the documents that we needed signed, I went ahead and submitted that. As soon as it's signed, you created your, filled in your listing input sheet, you want to submit that immediately. And then once you get an offer and you've kind of cleaned it up, you created your office folder, all of the required docs are in there, then you want to just submit that one. You'll click on it. It's going to ask you to select type. This is the buying side. This was the listing side, so you would mark that listing. You can put a note in here, hey, ended offer, please review. Or if you had to fix your pending input sheet because, say, the closing date changed and you needed to update, and you have to submit that folder again so that we know something's changed. Same thing, check it, make sure that your type is selected, and then type in here, please see pending input sheet, closing, extended, or something had changed. And then you would just submit. Once you submit it, Sally and I will get an email that something's been submitted and that we need to review. It's going to come up in an email, and we'll see what you put in there, and we'll know that we need to go back and either look at that pending input sheet, print out the new one to put in the file that we've got downstairs, or you're submitting, we need to see the documents and make sure that everything's there.
If that comes back from the office and it shows up like on my loop that I have right now, it says needs reviewed. Is that for me?
No.
Okay.
No. Because what happens is when Sally gets it, she's going to look at it and she's going to need to review. She'll change this. So every time she changes this, you're going to get an email that she's been in there and that she's changed it. So definitely open them and look at them because sometimes she may send you a message. It should look different in your email if she's saying, hey, hey Chelsea, I reviewed your file. Looks like you're missing the buyer signature on your confirmation of agency. Please have that signed and resubmit.
Okay.
You'll see that. It'll say Sally has sent you a message and it'll.
On my pending input form on the side, it says done SV. Mm-hmm. So does that mean everything is?
No. What that means is it means that Sally has received your loop. And she has, she's printed out your pending input sheet, and she's created a file downstairs. So we know that you've got it. And the reason why she puts done on there is because she's got multiple steps that she has to do in your file when you submit. It's not just open it up, look at it, make sure it's, everything's in there, and then you're good to go. she's got to print these out. She creates a file folder for it. She puts you on the sales sheet. She has to go in and put you in memo. So she's got multiple steps that she needs to do.
Okay, so that's for her to know.
Yeah, that's just for her so that when she gets in there, she knows, oh, hey, I put that in memo, you know. And sometimes you'll see it change. She'll say input memo.
Okay.
And then once she's done that, she'll change that to needs reviewed.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. I know I kind of sped through the last part of that pretty quick because we were kind of running out of time. So is there any other questions that you all have for me? Is there anything that maybe agents that have been in Dotloop that maybe I missed?
Can you consolidate folders or not? You just archive them.
You can just archive them.
Can't consolidate them.
As you put them together?
Yeah, when I did my first one, I had one that says folder, one new folder. It's trying to keep them all together.
You can't merge them together, but you can, what you can do is
I
you
just
can,
copied it and I'm gonna archive it.
yeah, you can copy it and archive it, as long as there's not a required document in that folder, then you can archive that folder. Otherwise, if it's something in there and you can't archive it, just label that folder as like, do not use, or something, so that you know when you look in there. All right. That's pretty much it. It's the same thing if you're doing the buying, if you're working on the buying side, it's not gonna be any different. You're gonna create the loop just the same. The only thing that you're gonna change this to purchase, and it'll either be pre-offer or, you know, under contract, so you can change that. You're still gonna do your view details the same. Only difference in that is you're not on the listing side, so you're not gonna have the listing information. So some of the boxes that we didn't fill in because we had a listing side will be filled in. You know, you're obviously gonna wanna fill in your purchase price, the expiration date, that will autofill on your documents for you. And then you'll just create your folders the same. Instead of initial listing folder, you'll wanna label that initial buying folder. And when I'm on the buying side, we'll go ahead and just put the buying agreement, buyer agency agreement in there, and I'll go ahead and put the transaction fee form. I won't have them sign the confirmation of agency disclaimer and all that, because I know that when I'm looking and we decide we want to put an offer on it, I'm going to go and I'm going to see if they already have those documents signed by their client. Because it speeds things up. I mean, no sense in having one person sign a confirmation of agency, another one sign a different one, and then you gotta, just go ahead, as a buying agent, go ahead and make sure that you're looking for that, in the MLS. And same thing, if you're going back and forth on stuff, you'll create another folder, buying. The only difference is because I said, like, say we had multiple offers, and I labeled this the buyer's last name, and, buying folder, so that I can kind of differentiate, whose is whose. If you're on the buying side, same situation, you're looking at multiple properties, you may be getting beat out. What I'll do is, I'll just label this the property address. This is 123 XYZ Street, rejected. And then if I have to, we lose out on another one, I'll create a separate folder, do my purchase and sale agreement in that one, and then say that got rejected, I'll, again, rejected XYZ Street. And then label this, your office folder, or, accepted, whatever that street address may be. When you create a loop on a buying side, you're not going to know what property that they want when you're in your initial buying stage. So you can label this the buyer's last name. You could say, Smith buyer folder, and then fill out your view details when needed when you're submitting an offer. Say that offer gets rejected, you'll just go back in, change your details, wipe that out. You can always change this name up here. You can go in, custom, it says use custom name, and you can put buyer's name. Say you got accepted on a property, and you're submitting for review because you're starting your inspection stage and everything, then you can just click on here to use property address, and it'll use whatever address you had saved in your property address. I'll try to do another Dotloop class here maybe next month, and we'll work on the buying side, and I'll try to do a little bit more advanced on actually going into real tracks and showing you how you can upload your URL. If anybody needs that in between now and then, just come see me. I can walk you through it. Any other questions? Yeah.
Thank you, Valerie.
Thank you,
You're
Valerie.
welcome.
Colleen, I'm not gonna say any more documents, I'm turning down. Oh,
Yes. And I jotted notes down for everybody, like on your sheet here, like your review sheet. This is the actual sheet that we use, when we're checking your file at the office. So I just jotted notes on, always make sure you have your pending input sheets. Always make sure that's submitted. Make sure that they're, filled out as, completely and correctly.
I have a question.
Yes.
Based on this sheet. What is this impact fee form, new construction?
Okay.
I mean, does that have to be done every time, or do
No.
usually that's taken care of by the builder?
It'll be signed by the builder, and if you have the buyer, then, the buyer will usually sign it. Now, that's why I kind of, marked these the way they are and said these are only applicable, because sometimes depending on different builders, they'll have their own contracts, and that impact fee clause will already be in there,
Okay.
and you won't have to do a separate form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because I read through the contract and it appeared that something very similar to that was in there, but it wasn't written exactly the same.
Alright, I don't know how to start
I've got
this.
two new construction